It was meant to be, I put my life on it. I ain't come this far just to die from it. You ain't on my way, nigga. Get out my way, on the way, I'ma stop till I'm
Yo, it's my boy Serion coming out with his new album called Nebula. Not everybody you love applies, okay? Got your girl Tiffany J on the first track. Check him out.
Get out my way, on the way, I'ma stop till
Did you know I'm gonna come with it? Come with the 10 minutes. I want you stare into these pretty brown eyes. Hey guys, this is Tiffany J coming to you live. 10 minutes with yours truly. I hope you like the show. Check it out. Hello, everyone. Note to self, really quick before I forget. Tiffany, make sure you get an additional hard drive for your computer. Okay, now that I got that out the way, so when I replay this, it'll be like, what are you talking about? Yeah, sometimes I do that. So here we are again. I'm very excited about a lot of things coming up, and I am trying to make sure that I keep a smile on my face the entire time. I often ask myself, I wonder how the celebrities do it, especially in the transitory period when if they've ever, worked that 9 to 5, that full time job, and then switched over to, what they do now. I would love to have a mentor or have somebody to speak to about that process, especially people who have, I would say, a few more responsibilities than me as far as like an entire family and things like that. I recently looked at a YouTube video slash podcast, and they were talking about building wealth and what this family did. They were in their 20s when they got married, and mid 20s. And I think for the first 3 years, they were paying off like $100,000 in debt. And then after that, they were building their family, and they were able to now create wealth because they did that. And they were even talking about how like they didn't even make that much. Not, I don't want to say that. The money that they paid off, that wasn't even in their income, if that made sense. So they added income by working 4 to 5 additional jobs, and basically disciplining themselves like they had no other choice, paying off $100,000 within about a year. So I was like, how is this even possible? So it has me, it has me thinking it is possible because these people have done it. But I'm like, how? So at least the first step that I can make for myself and anybody else who is in the same boat that's interested in trying to lower their debt or at least be conscious of their budget. The first thing that I'm going to do is slight tangent. My job has me looking at numbers, percentages, um, based on our forecasts and our sales reports and things like that, just about every day, especially every week. And I have a touch base sheet that I write down my notes and things like that. Like, oh, we're up 11.4% for the year, and we've gone down because we used to be at 21%, et cetera, et cetera. That means we have an additional $10,000. We're not in a deficit, et cetera, et cetera. But this week we went down because we didn't meet our sales, so therefore it's actually going down. And I'm trying to figure out the trends as far as what are we doing in the shop on the sales floor to add or take away from that, right? So those same tools that I'm using when I'm at my job, I'm like, okay, so how can I do this personally? Not to say, well, maybe to say that I need to have a detailed sheet that I fill out for myself. Like, what is my plan for the week? What are my goals? So when I was about to do my taxes last week, when I turned them in, I had printed out when I had got the 2 checks the last time, the stimulus check, just to have evidence that it was on my statements, right? I printed out all of my statements from 2020 and then the first two, yeah, and then January and February of this particular year, right? And I was going through, and this was before, in 2020, I believe from January up until maybe May or something like that, it was in May, it was brought to my attention that I was spending too much on um, buying food, like just buying takeout food and not making things at home, like just certain habits that I had. And so I made those changes, and over the months, I saw that I was able to, instead of at the end of every pay period, right before a paycheck or payday, instead of me overdrafting and barely having, $20 or something like that to ride me over, I started seeing that I had, extra money to sit around and to roll over into the next pay period. And so what I noticed between January and, let's say, March up until May, I guess, I looked at all the transactions. It was like 80 transactions in a 30-day period. And I was like, what is going on? So I'm looking and I'm like, okay, okay. I remember, dang, I used to go to the juice bar every single morning. I said, okay. And granted, I love the juice bar, but I was like, all right, we got to fix this. Maybe I give myself an allowance for extra food, and anything else, I need to make it at the house, right? So I started making those changes, and I definitely started seeing results. And I was like, okay, cool. This is actually working. I can actually save in this way. And then the money that I save, I'm not like scrambling at the end of the month. And I can actually, stuff that I wanted, like, oh, if I wanted to go to Bath and Body Works and buy some lotion or get some more makeup removal, or I don't know, simple things that I was just struggling before. I can get those things because the money is there. And I'm like, wow, look at the freedom by just pulling back and eating at home. And then there's some days, of course, I'm like, all right, I'm going to treat myself. Like if I'm off for the next 2 days, I'm like, you know what? I'm about to celebrate. Let me go to IHOP, or let me go to or Dunwell's Kitchen or something like that, or a new Asian cuisine, right? Right. So yes, that has helped. And now what I'm working on is balancing my mental and my physical so that I can have the energy to do the extra. Like these people are working 4 or 5 additional jobs. I remember, yeah, at a time I was doing three, right? And it's a lot going from one place to another place to another place to another place. This lady, the wife was saying she had did at max like 90 something hours in a week. And I'm like, oh my gosh, when did you sleep? And I said, okay, there may have been a time that I could do that. And they were younger when they did that. Cool. I don't know if they could do it now. But that's why some people bust their behinds. So in their later years, they are able to enjoy their life. And so I am the first step, right? I may not be everywhere where they are, but the first step that I can do is pay attention to where my money is going and say, hey, every week, let me take a look into my bank account and see where the money is going. And if I need to make a hard haul and say, all right, let's stop, or let's get some cereal or oatmeal or whatever snacks that I need that'll hold me over as far as meals throughout the day. Now, one major positive has been that I got a gallon kind of container, and I've been slacking lately, but when I first got it, for sure, I was drinking a gallon of water every 2 days, and I would basically just sip on it, and it would hold me over. I noticed my hair was getting stronger, it was retaining length, all of those great things. So a lot of times when you think you're hungry, your body's really thirsty, and you just need to replenish it in that way. And so I want to do that. Probably go back to just maybe buying 4 apples, eating one in the morning, one during lunch, and then actually having a full meal, like as far as for dinner, and then I'll be set. And then I sip on my water throughout the day, and I'm good. So there's different habits and things that you can do. Like if you're a foodie like me, you got to figure out how to manipulate and still make you feel good and feel full, not only full in your belly, but full in your mind and your spirit. That was like, oh, that was great. I enjoyed that. So that's kind of what I'm exploring right now, trying to figure out how we can increase our income and um, the debt to income ratio, let's decrease it as the years go on. Like I had got my car in 2016, and so it's going to take me about another 2.5, maybe 3 years to pay it off. But is there anything that I can do in the interim to help that process or make it easier? These are things that I have to think about. I would love to, let's say, pay my car insurance 6 months in advance. I remember for my video shoot for Work For It, I took an entire week and I Ubered an additional 30 hours on top of the 40 that I was already working. So that's 70 for me, right? Not close to 90, but it's 70. And I made $500 and I was able to get my video done. Now, did I crash the week after? Yes, I was extremely tired, but I could see that my efforts, like I could see where my efforts I was like, oh wow, like that worked. So as soon as I get a few things worked out, I got stuff for my dog to take care of, get my car where it needs to be, and just detail it one more good time before I have other passengers in it. I'm gonna start the Ubering again, and the Ubering for me is supposed to be just an additional income thing that I have. So I'm gonna start there, and that'll help me basically pour money back into my craft with what I'm doing. I'm also going to be taking commissions as far as artwork, and all of these things. I'm still trying to balance my mental space. It's a little difficult right now, but I'm working on it. So I hope this was helpful. If I hope it was helpful. Sorry, I got cut off earlier, but I hope it was helpful, and I hope it brought awareness, or at least reminded you to say, you know what? Let me look at my finances. I ain't been checking on them. Let me take a look and see how many transactions I'm actually doing every single month. Let me make sure I make a new habit of checking them every week or every single day before I go home. Did I spend too much, or do I need to put a little bit more attention here or there? So that's kind of my goal for this particular episode. Original music score, Cold Case, Noxious 2, coming soon. It's your love.
I realized I'm an 80s baby. I realized that I'm foolish, so cross my mind, it's a roller coaster. Living in some other time,
Featuring Tiffany J.
Are you looking for me?
That was another edition of 10 Minutes with Tiffany J. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves, because I know I did. You can find more episodes on my website, www.tjayetaylor.com, and go to podcasts. But don't stop there. Hop on over to the music tab and rock out to your favorite Tiffany J records, starting with my latest single, Work For It. Available for streaming and downloads on all major platforms, with a bomb video showcase on YouTube featuring the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina.
What's up, Dance World? This your boy Herschel KG. This beautiful lady is.
I'm Tiffany J.
If you missed out last week, you do not want to miss out this week, because last week was lit.
Amazing. So if you want to be in the building, make sure you go to
purplecharlotte.com.
Reserve your spot.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you can't make it, it's all right, because you can go to Purple Charlotte Steppers Club on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And do what?
Join us live.
6:30 on Thursdays. We'll see you there. Okay. We your hosts, Tiffany J.
Herschel KG.
Uh.
Deuces.
We'll see you there.